Okay, so then we also have one-star diamond coach, Andrea Oliver. Yay, one star, advancing to one star. Awesome job, Andrea. Okay, and we have another big announcement. I just pressed record. So we are Dare to Dream, April 24th. And we are going to talk about, we have Josira just entered the $100,000 club. So she's earned over $100,000 in her Beachbody business, which is a huge milestone. We have, so like, that's seriously amazing. She is on fire and she's joining a bunch. I can't find the exact numbers. I swear I just had it. Okay, she's officially the 17th coach in the club on our team, behind $2 million earners on Dare to Dream. This team is amazing. Also, a couple reminders. We have the 2 new vegan Shakeology flavors. We have 2 new workout programs coming, the UV2 and Shift Shop. If anyone saw everyone in Punta Cana, they were trying out the new Shift Shop, and I'm so excited because that's coming right around the time my baby is born. So that's what I'm using to get back in shape, everyone. It's going to be amazing. Just a couple more reminders. The All Access Challenge Pack is still on sale for $160 instead of $199, which is legit. Like, they're giving it away. This is the best time to be a coach. Like, this is it. Like, how amazing that we have that right now. Also, hit Success Club 5 this month. You get a Beachbody backpack, which I thought looked really cute, actually, and really cool if you're a guy. Both. It works for both. Summit goers, whoever's going to Summit, hit Success Club 5 in April and May and have a total of 20 Success Club points for those 2 months, and you will earn an exclusive invitation to the Success Club party in New Orleans, which will be off the chain, says Jessica. I went to the party last year. Super fun. Get to that party if you're going to Summit. If you need to register for Summit, the link is in the email with these announcements. And if you need to register for the Dare to Dream Luncheon, it's also there for you. One last thing before we get started, we have Amber. We need help. Her voting starts today. She is in it to win $5,000 in the quarterly Beachbody Challenge. So once it's live, you can vote once every single day through May 1st. So click going to the event and you'll get daily reminders to vote. We need to get her in that winner's circle. Go Amber. Let's do it. Okay, so if you haven't gotten that information, make sure you click on going to the event so we can help get her there. Okay, so today we have Marybeth. She's going to be sharing about what everybody needs is help with time management skills. She is going to be going over how she does it and how she rocks it and how we can rock it just like her. So I'm going to let you unmute yourself. Can you do that? Where are you at? There you are.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Oh yeah, what I'm laughing about right now is that my baby is upstairs crying. We moved today. I am like a really poor example of time management right now. We're all but a hot mess. I like have no furniture. I'm sitting on the floor. I mean, this is, my 9-year-old is up there like trying to console the baby when my husband's still moving furniture. So yeah, hopefully you won't hear any screams. And I'll have to pay a small fee to my 9-year-old, I'm sure.
You might hear screams coming over here too, and we didn't move. So you're fine, and you're showing us all how to work it regardless of what you're going through. So take it away.
Awesome, cool. So I'll just introduce myself first. My name is Marybeth Tellis, and I've been a coach since June 15th, 2016. So my year coach anniversary will be in like 2 months, so or less than that. So I'm super excited. I'm going to Summit. I am on this train. I love it. I love the community. I love everything about this business. So what's really funny is kind of background on me. I am not a natural time manager. In fact, I have always sort of been a scatterbrain, not a type A personality at all. In fact, yeah, I always struggled with time management. I never have a sense of time. Like I just feel like, oh, it'll be fine. And I'm always late and all those kinds of things. What I've learned through this coaching experience is that without time management skills, if you really want this to be a business, you have to treat it like a business. And yeah, without that, I think if you don't have that time management piece in place, it's not sustainable. My first couple of months of coaching, basically, I thought scrolling Facebook was what I needed to do. Not at all. Scrolling Facebook is like the worst thing. Like, and I remember Jessica saying, stop scrolling Facebook. And now I get it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what was I doing? I was scrolling Facebook and I wasn't really like messaging, or if I was, it was random. I mean, it was just ridiculous. And so I found that that was my weakness. I'm very comfortable with people. I like talking to people and all that, but I was not doing the behaviors that were going to drive a successful business. So what I thought I'd do today is just share some of the things that have worked for me, not to say they'll work for you, necessarily, but I'm hoping that everyone leaves today with at least a few takeaways, things that they'll be able to implement in their own business. Yeah, so I'm going to share some of those tips with you. And so I kind of made like a list of 10. Hopefully this will keep me on track, because that's another issue. I always say I'm going to do a 5-minute video, and guess what? It ends up being 20. So I'm working on keeping my own, time here as well. So I've got 10. What was I going to say first? Okay, so I have these 10 tips. Before I do that, I just want to preface it by saying, getting these systems down doesn't happen overnight. Okay, I'm 10 months in, and I am still working on these. I am still a work in progress. I do not have this perfected at all. I was listening to Melanie Mitra the other night, and she said it took her about 2 years to kind of get that balance right of, having her business hours and keeping that separate from her personal time and her family time and all that good stuff. So it's really important to know. I know it can be overwhelming, especially to new coaches in the beginning. I know I was overwhelmed, but just know, even if you just, implement one new behavior that's going to help drive your business forward, maybe every week or every 2 weeks, and really driving that behavior and getting it down, then add something after that. Because I think if you try to do everything, you're just going to be overwhelmed and shut down. I think that's at least how I operate. So these are some of the things that have been working for me. I'm not perfectly consistent all the time. I'm working on it. But I challenge you, just to listen in, see what you think, and then, make a commitment at the end of this call to implement one of these to help drive your business. Okay, so I've got my 10 time management tips. Okay, number 1, calendar. You must have a calendar. Okay, you can have a desk calendar. I have both. I have a desk calendar, as well as I use Google Calendar. And I plan out my week on Sundays. And I copied this from a top coach. I listen to people on YouTube and I'm like, what are they doing? It's working. So several of them had shared that what they do is they have their desk calendar in front of them, but then they also, plot out their week every Sunday. It takes about 30 minutes. Some people like to merge their personal with their business stuff. I do that because I don't want to have to go back and forth. So I put both on the calendar, but I block out those business hours. I block out my power hour. I block out, the kids getting ready for school. I need to be available. I block out homework time. I block out, my workout. So that I know, because each day, if I act with intention and follow that plan as best as I can, I know that that is going to help me be successful. So a calendar, I think, is key. Like I said, the first few months, I had no calendar. I was just like, I'm just going to, just wing it. That doesn't work. You can't just wing it in this business. You have to really, you know, have those, have your week and your day planned, and act with intention. So that's the first thing, is the calendar. Number two, focus on those vital behaviors first. Especially if you're a first, you know, if you're just starting out your coaching business right now, you know, those 4 vital behaviors, which I'll list right now, in case you don't know them, they work. I mean, you follow them. It's a very simple thing. The 4 vital behaviors: workout, be a product of the product. We have to be for this business. So taking that 30 minutes a day, or however long your program is, mine's 30 minutes a day, and doing that workout and committing to it and showing up for yourself and for your challengers, will just show that you're in this, you know. So that workout, being a product of the product, is super important. Drinking Shakeology, inviting every single day, is something that's really, really important. You have to take the time to do this, and it doesn't take that long, you know. So, but inviting doesn't mean posting something on Facebook saying you're running a challenge group. Inviting is personal messages, okay? Yes, you can put an invite like at your, what I call my storefront is my Facebook page, but really the magic behind it happens when you're having these conversations with people behind the scenes. That's where it really happens. So that is crucial to the business. Inviting personal, through personal message or text, or, you know, face-to-face, okay? And reading personal development every day. I do 10 to 15 minutes of personal development every day, and sometimes I do more, but I actually set the timer because I can get lost in a book. I can get, you know, and I get distracted. So for me, I almost have to set that calendar, and, you know, when I'm done, or I'm going to finish this one chapter and I'm going to move on. But making sure I get those vital behaviors in every single day helps me drive the business forward. When I don't do them, I am all over the place. So I know it sounds really kind of like cheesy that these like 4 things, but they do, they make a difference. And don't let that personal development time don't think that's not important, because it is crucial. When I'm not reading PD, my mind shift, everything changes. So I think the PD is really important. Okay, so number 1 was calendar. Number 2 was focus on the vital behaviors first. Number 3, use the back tracker. And I have to admit, like, this thing is so simple, the back tracker. I don't know if you're a new coach, you might not know what the back tracker is, but man, this back tracker, I don't know what I was doing. I was all over the place. This is telling you basically exactly what to do every day. You know, read personal development, stay connected, add new friends on Facebook, you know, make your 3 to 5 posts on social media, and you literally like check it off. So I start mine on Thursdays. That's how it's set up here, right after payday, so that week, yeah, because we get paid on Thursday. So I start on that that morning. I start my new business activity tracker. The beginning of the month, I've been just printing out, you know, 4 of these, so I have them ready to go, even with the dates on top and filled in. And basically, you just go through the checklist. And then you're tracking. This is measurable. You can say, hey, I did this, this, and this. I did this. And you can actually check it off and say, hey, I followed all this. So, you know, you should be making growth. And, you know, you might have, but don't be discouraged, though, because you might have a bunch of zeros on. I mean, like, you might have, you know, still no Success Club points by the end of the week, but that doesn't mean that you're out of it. It just means that probably those seeds that you're planting are going to come to fruition maybe next week or next month, or like some of my people, 6 months later. They're finally like, yeah, let's do this. So don't be discouraged if you have, you know, 0 Success Club points at the end of the week. That's okay. That's part of the process. Okay, so really using this, I even put mine on a clipboard, and along with my schedule for the day, along with my workout program that I print out, and I have it all on a clipboard. So I know that those are the things that I need to focus on daily. So the back tracker is really helpful. And if you're a new coach, check in with your coach about how to get this. I actually just print mine off. I just Google it always, and then I just print it off from there. But I think it's in the Coach Online office too. But I'm not too certain about that. I've heard it is. Okay, so the back tracker is important. The calendar. big, the 4 vital behaviors. Okay, number 4, and this I learned, and I'm not really great at doing it all the time, but I do notice that when I do it, it helps me stay on track. I'm naturally a scatterbrain, all kind of, I get distracted and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Ooh, let me, and I go all over the place. And this is something I actually learned from Melanie Mitro. She actually, when she's doing her power hour, which is like her time to really focus in and like connect with people on Facebook, send out messages, all this, she actually turns off her messenger and she puts it on silent and makes it that it looks like, I'm not sure, I'm not sure exactly how to explain how to do it, but you can put it in your settings that you don't want to people to know that you're even online, because you need to set that boundary, and you can't be available at all times. That's just the reality. And you don't want to set that tone with your coaches that you're mentoring, that you're available at all times. You have to have some kind of boundary there. So during the power hour, what she does is she actually like just makes herself unavailable, and nothing dings. Even like family dinner time, she turns off everything. She just, she devotes her time and is present in that moment. If she's doing her power hour, she's present in her power hour, and she's not letting all these other incoming things distract her. Okay. So I thought that was a really good tip. I've done it a few times, not enough, but I want to start doing that more consistently, and that might be helpful to some of you guys. Another thing I use, but I just started using a couple of weeks ago, is I use Google Streak, which I don't know if some of you guys use. I know some people use Asana and TeamZ, and maybe some people just use like Excel spreadsheets. But, as your business grows, like your customer base and your coach base and all that, you're going to want to find a way to track. Now, in the beginning, I did a lot of paper pencil, which is great, totally fine. But as time goes on, now that my group is getting big, what I'm doing is I'm keeping track of everybody in Google Streak. And what you can do is you can create these little like lists, and you can move people, from like you've invited them, they become a challenger, and you kind of move them along this like kind of spectrum thing, and you can create, who you need to follow up with. You can take notes about people. It's great. And so that's what I'm using. I don't know the system that well yet, but I'm working at it. I'm putting in like 15 minutes a day trying to figure it all out. But I have some of my people in there, and it's really helping me to know, who am I following up with tomorrow? Boom, boom, boom. So I don't have to like go, oh, who should I follow up with? This is very intentional, and it helps me to stay on top of what I'm supposed to be doing. So that's that. So, and then I think I mentioned before, okay, so I've got calendar, behaviors, back tracker, power hour. So when I do my power hour, and I do that once a day, I actually set a timer, which is super helpful, like, because I will get distracted. So I will like say, add five new Facebook friends, and like set the timer for 3 minutes to really keep me on track. Because I know myself, I'm not great at time management naturally, so I actually need to set that timer so that I know, okay, you need to stop, move on to the next thing. And so I make sure I get all of those behaviors in. Some people like to, and I do this too, is where I work off a list. Sometimes if I'm feeling a little bit like off track, I'm like, I am going to print out a list of exactly what I'm going to do tomorrow. And it literally is like, wake up at 5 a.m., read professional development, and I literally like check it off. Sometimes I need that kind of, just like structure to kind of get me back on track. And so, checklists can be great. And like I said, these systems might not necessarily all work for you. I'm just hoping that one of these ideas that today that you can go and you can actually implement into your own business. Hold on a second. I think I've got another thing I do, and I think this helps with time management too, keeping me on track, is I print out at the beginning of every week, I print out a customer list. And I find that just having this hard copy, even when I'm at, my son's baseball game, or, like even just, watching TV or whatever, I'll just kind of go through my list and just start like marking and saying, okay, they became a coach. Okay, they're in a challenge group. What's going on with this person? I tried texting it, and it kind of, just having that hard copy sometimes in front of me helps me to focus in. And I actually, from this list, I signed up 2 new coaches, and they were customer leads, and I think it was because I had their phone number right in front of me, and all their information right here. So printing off that customer list has been another thing that has helped me with managing my time. Where am I here? Hold on one second. Oh, another thing, getting up early. I don't know if you guys are like all morning people or not. I was not a morning person. I'm probably still not a morning person, but I've decided to become a morning person. And because I knew that with my husband travels a lot for business. We have a 9-year-old and a 22-month-old. So I know that if I don't get up early and complete some of these tasks early in the day, those things probably are not going to happen as the day goes on. So I know how important it is for me to get up early and, get my workout in, get my shake in, get my PD in, all before the kids rise at 7 a.m. Am I perfect at this? Absolutely not. The last few days have been crazy with the move and all this, and I'm not perfect with it, but I try my best every day to do that. Tomorrow I will be back on. Boom, get it done. The other thing is set boundaries with accessibility. I think sometimes I feel like the first few months, and I still feel like it a little bit now, I'm working on it, but setting those boundaries. I'm a people pleaser. I always want to be available to everybody and make everybody happy and be able to answer a question. Here's the thing. You have to, for a non-urgent question, you can't just be at your phone, answering quickly, if you're at dinner with your family or whatever, setting those boundaries and really showing people that, you want them to be respectful of your time, because, you can't sacrifice. Yes, you do have to do some sacrificing in this business for sure. But you can't sacrifice, a family dinner or that time, bonding with your children, or you're out on a date with your spouse or whatever. You can't just be a slave to your phone. And that was something I really had to learn. And I'm still working on it. There's times where my husband's like, put your phone down, stay with us, So it's hard because I want to make everybody, happy. But I also don't want to set the tone with my new coaches that, I'm just available all the time, because I can't, I will burn out, being available every second of every day. I just can't do that. And so setting those boundaries with your time, I think, is also really important as well. Let me see. Where's my time, JC? Because I always talk over.
You're at 25 minutes.
I talked for 25 minutes?
Well, we started 25 minutes ago. I started.
Okay, I'm going to wrap it up.
You're still good. Keep going. You got it.
I feel like this is actually record for me. I thought you were going to be 45 minutes or something. Stop me.
Gold. You're giving us gold.
So I hope some of those tips helped you. Just a couple of things. I think that if you open your mind and you're willing to learn that anyone is capable of doing this, this is, I am still, but I'm working on it, scatterbrained, frazzled. Some might even call me a ditz, okay? But, you can learn. You can learn new behaviors. No, it's not natural for me, but you can learn new behaviors. People who sometimes say, oh, well, I'm too shy for this business, or I'm too, you can learn how to connect with people. We all have strengths and weaknesses, but, highlighting and feeling good about your strengths, but then also being willing to work on your weaknesses. And that's why, I was just chuckling, because I was time management. I love that. I'm I'm going to do time management, which is hilarious because that's not really who I am. But that doesn't mean that I can't get this system down, because I can. And all of you can as well. And every day I act with heart and intention every day, which I know all of you do too. If you're willing to fail, I fail every day so many times, and eventually you will succeed. I'm starting to feel that momentum on my business now, that is just so exciting to me, and to be part of something much larger than just me. And my systems are not better than anybody else's systems. It's what's working for me right now. I'm open to change, you know, and if you create your own systems, I mean, and a lot of the systems, guys, are already there for you. Like, you don't have to reinvent it. Most of this stuff I shared with you is not stuff that like I came up with. It's mostly like me listening to professional development, or me reading about and like taking notes and sort of putting together what works for me and in my life. And then that was it. Oh, a couple of books. Just I've listened to Eat That Frog. These are some time management books. I know that a lot of Beachbody coaches have read. My husband read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I know that's a good one for time management. And then there's Eat That Frog, which I listen to. And then you can listen to audio if you prefer to listen and not have to, you know, sit down and read. I sometimes am just in the kitchen, like, you know, cooking or whatever, and I'll have my personal development on there. So that's another thing that can help you manage your time, save a little time. And then YouTube. Don't get obsessed like I do. I am obsessed with listening to coaches. I'm like stalking these people and they're listening because they have so many great ideas. They have figured out the system. They understand how all of this works. And so I listen to them and I take notes. But don't spend too much time so that your family is like, you know, where are you? But I do probably do that once a day. And I really enjoy that. And yeah, the Coach Back Office, use it. FAQ, use it. All those things will help you save time, and direct your coaches to do the same thing as well. So if your coaches, you know, don't waste time answering questions that they can figure out on their own. And I think that was about it. I think that was about it. I think I'm Facebook. Okay. Yeah, no, I think I actually got it all. Does anyone have questions? I'm a New Yorker. I talk really fast. Well, I haven't lived in New York.
I think there was a couple important questions, like how did you print out your customer list? Someone was having a hard time finding.
Okay, so if you go into, I feel like when you have your customer list up, when you go to customer, I don't know what it is. When you have your whole list of customers, there's a way where you can like export the file. Does that make sense? And then it like will generate it like on like a spreadsheet kind of. And I can look, and I've only done it like about three times now. So I can get directions for that and help that person. I feel like it wasn't that hard, and I'm not tech savvy, and I figured it out. So I think you export it and then it creates like an Excel file, and then I printed it. But this is really helpful. Were there other questions, or I can't see the questions? I don't know why.
I think some people were wondering just kind of the differences between Team Z and Streak and all of that. I'm not sure if you've done both or what your take on that is.
I did do the 30-day trial of Team Z. And then after that, it was like $30 a month. And I just felt like I wasn't using it as much. And so the Google Streak is connected to my email too. And so I'm in my email and I can just click on Streak. And you can actually even, I think, and I haven't done it yet, but you can move like email conversations into Streak too. I've heard great things about Team Z. Like I said, it's just going to be preference. What's going to work for you, the way that your mind works. Asana, I know a lot of people use that. I don't really know much about that. I just know the Google Streak is kind of very simple for me. And so that's what's working for me. But yeah, you can do a 30-day trial of Team Z, I know. Just make sure you cancel it. If you don't use it, make sure you cancel before that 30 days or else they'll automatically charge you. So is there another question?
I think that's all I saw. Did anyone else want to ask theirs and unmute themselves or anything? I think one of the major nuggets I got from this is like, she mentioned a couple times, like whatever you feel is the best for you, like do you. Like try some of them out, but don't spend too much time. If you get frustrated with one system, like try something else and kind of find that sweet spot of what makes you the most productive. Like I know I've tried some of them, and TeamZ, I was getting frustrated because I could only see 3 names at a time of my follow-up list, and I'm just like a visual person. I want to know everyone who like is coming up. Like maybe I want to jump ahead. I don't know. TeamZ's telling me I can't, but like, so it's just based on preference. And if you're loving something, like just go all in and just do it, because whatever really works for you is all that you can ask for. And I know that's really vague, but what I got out too is just be consistent and do it every day, whether that's pen and paper or something online. But it will snowball and it will build and build and build, and you're looking for momentum. So like she said, it might not show up in that end of the week when you're writing everything out, but it will. It's still important, and it still will plant seeds, and it still will build and snowball for you as long as you stay consistent. And I love that she said, be willing to fail, because so many of us get stuck in this fear, like, am I doing the right system? Or like, there's too much stuff to write down, and you just get stuck in that spot where you're like, what if I fail? This might not work, so I'm not even going to start. And that's the worst thing we can do to ourselves is talk ourselves out of it because we're scared to fail. So be willing to fail. I have failed so many times. Like my systems are all over the place, but it's because I've been willing to fail and try new things and put myself out there that I've developed that momentum and that success, because doing nothing's certainly not going to get us there, right?
Mm-hmm. I have one thing that I always ask myself when I'm doing like an activity. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but whatever activity I'm doing that's supposed to be business, I ask myself, is this driving me forward with my business? Scrolling Facebook doesn't drive you, you know, like I do go on Facebook sometimes for pleasure to check, you know, see family and friends and do that. But that is like mindless, you know, kind of entertainment, you know, and just like my pleasure. That's not business. So when I'm business, you know, and sometimes I might go to someone's Facebook page to, you know, like some things on their page or something and or giving them a shout out or something like that. But other than that, like I don't just sit and scroll Facebook. And if I want to, I do, but I schedule that time for personal time. It's not business. That make sense?
Yes, that does make perfect sense. Yeah, I mean, I gotta get my power hour going, guys. Haven't got that in yet today.
Either.
If there aren't any questions, thank you, Marybeth, for speaking to us on such a busy and crazy day for you. That just shows the power of consistency and commitment. And when you commit to things, even when you don't feel like it, or you're too busy or too stressed or too tired, like that's when the magic happens. So thank you so much for being here, everyone. And we will see you all next week.
Thanks, guys.
I'll post the recording here in a little bit once it gets loaded.
Thank you.
Bye.